One of the biggest mindset shifts that can happen when you are going from being an employee to being an entrepreneur is really realizing just how much structure and accountability you used to have when you had a job without even thinking about it. In the workplace, you've got deadlines, you've got managers, you've got team meetings, you've got quarterly reviews. You have all of these touch points that are keeping you on task. But when you go solo, all of that disappears. Suddenly, you're responsible for everything. Nobody's checking in. No one's waiting for your work. No one's reminding you to meet your goals. And that can be a place where you can get stuck because without accountability, even the best plans can go awry. So if you have ever struggled to follow through, stay consistent, or push yourself, whether it's with your branding and social marketing or with any aspect of your business, then this episode is for you. Welcome back to Purposeful Presence, your go-to podcast for entrepreneurs ready to elevate your branding and your social marketing strategies while staying true to your purpose. I am Coach MJ. I'm an entrepreneur, a brand strategist, a published author, an event producer, and a keynote speaker. And I am on a mission to give you practical tips, insightful strategies, and mindset shifts to help you build a brand that attracts your ideal audience, those customers and opportunities that you deserve while aligning with your vision. Let's get into it. Now, you might have noticed if you watch this channel that less than 2 hours ago, I was on here with this same outfit on, and you thought I had already streamed this episode for this week. And I did too, until I went through to go and edit one of my live streams, and I realized that there was no sound. There is a tiny key at the top of my keyboard on my laptop where I'm recording this that mutes the microphone, and I did not consciously notice that that button was lit up. So I talked for almost 30 minutes and nothing was being recorded. I'm going to have to watch that button more carefully. Although I do realize that subconsciously I did see an orange light on. It just did not hit me that I had muted my microphone. So anyway, I am back because what we're not going to do is miss out on keeping our promise, my promise to you that I'm going to deliver one of these amazing episodes every week via live stream. So we're talking about accountability today. And the first section that we're going to dig into is what I'm calling the DIY trap, the do-it-yourself trap, and why going solo in business can slow you down. And I'm speaking about this topic as a solopreneur, right? I used to have a virtual assistant. Right now, I do not have one. I will be hiring one this year. But right now, I'm a team of one. And we're going to be talking about why being a team of one or going out on your own can slow you down. We really underestimate, as former employees and new or even experienced entrepreneurs, just how much structure a job provides. Think about it. You've got the time that you have to get there, even if they give you a window, even if it's flexible. Like when I worked at Humana, they said anytime between 6 and 9 a.m. I could get to work my 8 hours and be done. But even so, they decided it had to be between 6 and 9. The structure of clocking in, the structure of going to a physical location, if you have one, or logging into their equipment from home, reporting to a manager, working towards deadlines, being part of team activities, team projects. Those are all built-in accountability. The moment you become an entrepreneur, all of that is gone. And suddenly you are in charge of setting your goals, staying motivated, and holding yourself accountable to implementing the steps that it's going to take to get to those goals. And without having external expectations from that employer, from that team, even from sometimes the customers that you might have interacted with through your employer, it is easy without those expectations to start delaying decisions, getting stuck in analysis paralysis. You're overthinking everything that you need to execute, or you're letting perfectionism take over. I was talking to somebody just the other day, and he was admitting that perfectionism has stopped him from doing so many things toward achieving his goals because he wants everything to be right. But I tell you one way to make sure you're doing it wrong is to not do it at all, right? So perfectionism, all those things can take over when you don't have those external drivers. So for example, how many, and this might step on some toes, but that's okay. How many unfinished projects or ideas do you have sitting in your drafts folder on your computer or on a laptop? Okay, this one is green, so it's not showing up right. This is my vision book. got a pumpkin on. This is my vision book, but I have a ton of notebooks like this. How many amazing unfinished projects or ideas do you have sitting in journals? Do you have sitting in your drafts folder on your computer? Maybe it's in Google Docs. Maybe it's a presentation. Maybe it's in a note on your phone. How many? And think about it and be honest. Would they still be unfinished if you had a boss that said you have to get that done by next week, next month? Would they still be unfinished if you knew you had a client waiting on them? This is why accountability is just so, it's not just helpful. It is absolutely a necessity. Without it, we risk treating our business like a HOBBY, a hobby, instead of a real enterprise. So if you started your business and it's really just a hobby, that's okay. Don't call it a business, call it a hobby. Even if you get paid for it, it's just a hobby, depending on what energy you give it. But if you want to turn into a real business that builds wealth for you, that builds income, that replaces your job or allows you to live at a different level, it is an enterprise, and you're going to need accountability to get you there. So let's talk about the power of external accountability. When you're at a job, your performance is reviewed regularly. In the chat, put how often you get official performance reviews. Is it monthly? Is it quarterly, annually? Is it weekly that you check in and have some touch points with your leadership to say, hey, here's how things are going. Here's how we want to improve. Here's what I want you to continue doing. Your boss expects deliverables. Your team at work relies on you, and your paycheck, that biweekly carrot that is dangling in front of us, that keeps us pushing forward, that keeps us showing up every day, those items are depending on you showing up. But in entrepreneurship, there's no one holding up those standards. There's no boss, no team meetings unless you're the one running them, no biweekly paycheck unless you create it. It's all on you, and that's a huge adjustment. You may even love a lot of the aspects of running your business. You may love every aspect of running your business. It's still an adjustment to not have anybody expecting anything from you. It can be very heady when you get into the entrepreneur space to realize you are at the top of the heap. You are the one that is the one that determines whether your business is made or broken, make or break, right? Even if you have customers, yes, you answer to your customers, but you're the one that decides whether you even go and pursue customers. Like, everything is up to you. So having an external source of accountability, whether through mentorship or a peer group or some type of structured system, keeps you focused, it keeps you motivated, and it keeps you moving forward. Have you ever had, maybe you were joining a gym, or maybe you were doing some type of diet change. A lot of people can relate to health and wellness examples, so that's why I'm using this analogy. And when you decide to go to the gym, maybe you went in there one day and you saw all the machines and you got overwhelmed. I don't know how to use them. I don't know how many times I should do reps. I don't know how long I should stay in here. And you got overwhelmed and discouraged. But then you said, let me ask my friend if she or he will do this with me. And then you had that accountability partner, and you guys were able to hold each other accountable. You were able to figure things out together. Then, and you stuck to it, and you lost the weight, or you got in shape, or whatever. Same thing with a dietary goal. I know I had something recently I wanted to change about how I eat. And I asked my daughter, will you do this with me for the next few weeks? Studies show that people with accountability partners are significantly more likely to achieve their goals than those who go it alone. It's just a necessary evil. That is not any less true for entrepreneurs. Just because you own your own business does not mean that you are immune to the benefits of having accountability and the detriments if you don't have it. Regular check-ins will keep you from making excuses. How many of you have made excuses? Put a 1 in the chat. If you've ever made an excuse about why you're not doing something in your business, something happened with my husband, my wife, my kids, something happened at work, something happened with my health, something happened with my finances. There's always going to be some reason why the important things like running your business are, canceled out by the urgent items that are screaming for your attention. And there will never be any end to those, but we can often use those urgent items as an excuse not to do the important things. They also, having regular check-ins can ensure that you are consistently showing up for your business. I can't tell you, and I'm speaking to myself as well, I don't do this stuff perfectly. I do it a lot better than I used to, but I don't do this stuff perfectly. So I'm speaking to myself when I say these things. There's been so many days, weeks, months that have gone by and I've not made progress in certain areas of my business over the years. And part of it was because I didn't have to. Granted, I wanted the reward, but I had not positioned myself to do the things to keep my eyes even on that reward that I wanted to keep me moving forward in action. Here's the thing. Your accountability structure has to align with your needs as an entrepreneur. So in addition to getting accountability, it has to be the type of accountability that you need. The right kind of accountability for a DIY entrepreneur. First of all, what's a DIY entrepreneur? You guys hear me talk about DIY entrepreneurship all the time. These are those folk that maybe you're a solopreneur, you're the only person in your business, or maybe you have a small team. Maybe you've got a VA, maybe a tech person that work for you part-time and do little things for you. Maybe that's your situation. But for the most part, it's just you. And you like or are still required to have your hand in all aspects of your business. You maybe have an accountant that does things for you, but you still are heavily involved with the accountant to make sure that they have what they need. And in the case of this channel, maybe you're the one that's responsible for doing your branding and your social marketing. And it's for lack of, well, we'll talk about what's holding you back in a minute. But you like that because there's so many things changing. You still got a lot of great ideas. You don't want to have to try to offload that to somebody else. So you like having the control of doing it yourself in your business. Corporate style oversight does not work for entrepreneurs. So the boss saying, I need this by 5 o'clock, or I need it done this particular way in this amount of time. And, those types of oversight that are common in the corporate space when you work for somebody else, they don't work for entrepreneurs. Indeed, that level of oversight might be one of the reasons that you wanted to become an entrepreneur, because your creativity was being stifled. You could not move the way you wanted to move. You felt hemmed in by somebody else's vision because you were hemmed in by somebody else's vision. That's why you felt that way. That type of oversight that's pretty heavy-handed, even in spaces in corporate America where they kind of give you leeway to do it your way, ultimately it has to be done the way that aligns with the business owner's vision, right? That doesn't work for entrepreneurs. You need structured guidance without the micromanagement, okay? So the 3 things that make up the best accountability for business owners like you are clear but flexible goal setting. The goals have to be clear, but they have to have some wiggle room, right? Cannot be rigid because there are so many moving parts in standing up a new business or even keeping an existing business running. You need clarity and flexibility. Number 2, you need support and feedback when you need it. One of the things I miss the most, I guess, about working with other people is that when you work with other people, you have immediate feedback on whatever it is that you do or say. If you say something in a meeting, somebody responds. If you turn in a project or you present something, you immediately know what other people's reactions are, because everything you do is, you're not working in a vacuum. Everything you do is for someone else to react to or respond to or benefit from. When you work for yourself, you can do quite a bit and nobody knows. Nobody's responding. Or even if you're putting things out on social media, like I'm doing right now, I may not get any feedback. I don't have anybody saying, hey, here's how you can make it better. I have to create those feedback loops. I have to create that support system. It doesn't automatically happen. I can put this video out. If no one comments, I'm not going to know whether this is what someone needed, if anybody benefited from it, etc. So you need support and feedback when you need it so that you can have some idea of whether things are working or not. And then the third, so you got clear and flexible goal setting, support and feedback when you need it. We're talking about the best type of accountability for entrepreneurs. The third one is you need a system that encourages execution or implementation, not just learning. This is a big one. A lot of programs that are, coaching programs or training programs that you will go through, they emphasize, watch these videos, take notes, but they don't really provide a space to make sure you do the things that they just taught you about in the video or in the lesson. No matter how well a lesson is put together, if you never implement what you learned, it was for naught. And so often entrepreneurs do not have that system that encourages them to execute on what they have learned. So with those 3 pieces of accountability for entrepreneurs in mind, think of it like switching from having a boss to having a coach. A boss tells you what to do. A coach helps you to strategize and improve on what you've already been doing, and sometimes makes suggestions of what to do, but really keeps you in the driver's seat while providing those guardrails and by providing best practices and things of that nature. Without the right structure, a lot of DIY entrepreneurs stay stuck in learning mode instead of implementation mode. That's exactly why I created my Brand and Social Marketing Academy the way I did, to give you the accountability and structure to move forward without feeling overwhelmed. So one of the common things I encounter when I join various coaching programs over the years as an entrepreneur is that often when you get into them and you get into the member portal or whatever space the content is housed in, there's this big long list of videos or documents, downloads, what have you, and you're trying to figure out, where do I start? What do I do? And even if they give clear instructions on where to start and what to do, you kind of come in with this idea that you've already fallen behind, because there's all these hundreds of videos, and they may even tell you don't have to worry about that stuff, but you see them there and it registers in your mind that you're going to eventually need to go through all that. And it can become overwhelming because you feel like you're coming in behind the curve. You're coming in with stuff to do that you can't possibly find time to do. You need this program to help you be better, and it's actually creating more work in right from the beginning. And I've had that experience. I'm sure you have had that experience, that type of experience as well. Built-in accountability with the Brand and Social Marketing Academy is its most valuable feature. It provides a structured but flexible system to help you stay on track by, instead of bringing you into this big library that you've got to try to figure out and you feel like you got to watch all these videos before you can execute, I keep it very lean by giving you week-to-week focal points, 1 week at a time. This week we focus on this topic, this task. The next week we focus on another piece, another and another. And then we just rotate those 4 main core topics around until and month over month, you're going to see yourself improving, because one of the 4 focal topics that we focus on is looking back at last month and seeing what worked and tweaking it for the coming month. That's one of the 4 focal points. And when you go to the website that I'm going to be giving you shortly for joining the Brand and Social Marketing Academy, you're going to see what those 4 focal points are. I want to simplify it so it is palatable, consumable, attractive, not something that you want to avoid doing because it seems like it's so much, but something that you welcome doing because it seems quite doable. You're going to get regular check-ins to assess your progress. You're going to be setting goals and refining it, just like you had at a traditional job, but in a way that empowers you as a business owner. At a job, you're working for that business owner's goals or that board of directors, depending on who is in charge of growing the organization. Whereas as a business owner, you are empowered to fulfill your vision for your business. It's not just content, it's implementation. The other thing about the Brand and Social Marketing Academy, you to have a large amount of videos and trainings that you feel like you have to go through before you're going to make progress. You come in and we have various co-working sessions week to week where we complete in real time what it is I teach you about. So it's not listen to me talk for an hour, take notes, and then go away and try to get this done. No, you come to each co-working session with your laptop up, and I teach you something, you're implementing it in real time. In real time, you are creating your social media content. In real time, you are scheduling your social media content. In real time, you are polishing and enhancing your branding on a monthly basis. And in real time, you are reviewing how last month's campaign went and making notes of what you can do to make it better this month. So you actually do the work because you're surrounded by like-minded entrepreneurs who are also working toward the same goals in their business of upscaling their branding and social marketing strategies to attract the customers and opportunities that they deserve. The monthly guidance helps you stay consistent, not feel burnt out, and it keeps your brand growing. So think of joining the Brand and Social Marketing Academy as like having an advisory board for your business, people who keep you accountable, who also understand what it's like to be in your shoes because they also are in the academy with you, and they are business owners who understand your schedule, your triggers, your challenges, your joys, your your dreams, why you're doing what you're doing. They all understand it with you. Accountability is so critical. So imagine having a space where you not only have to learn what to do, but you actually follow through. That is so big. I talk to so many business owners who are saying, I need to be on social media, but I don't know how. It seems like it's too much. And it's just like, if you just give it a chance, you would see how doable it is and how crucial it is to the growth of your business. The very thing you're avoiding, giving your brand a facelift on a regular basis and being on social media in a meaningful and consistent manner. That's what your business is missing. All this other stuff you're doing, instead of doing that, is what's holding you back. So imagine a space where you can learn what to do and actually follow through, because you have the accountability to make it happen. Accountability is not a luxury. It is a necessity to have long-term success in your business. So if you've been struggling to stay consistent, you've been struggling to execute all those amazing ideas that you have for your business, all the things that you could be doing, all the things you could be sharing with your audience to pull them closer to you, that doesn't mean that you are a personal failure. It just means you have a lack of structure, and that's something that you can fix. So I want to invite you to join the Brand and Social Marketing Academy for solopreneurs and small business owners. MelanieHunter.com/academy, MELLANIE Hunter.com/academy is where you will go. And when you get to that page, you're actually going to see those 4 focal points I told you about that we work on week after week. You're going to see those outlined right there on the page. So you'll know, hey, when I join this academy, these are the things we're going to be working on. I don't have to worry about the big picture. Right? We'll do some big picture as far as your business, but you don't have to worry about, when am I going to make the content? I don't know if I have time, or when am I going to schedule it and get it on social media? You don't have to worry about any of that. That's built into the program. You'll get to it. We will get to it. You don't have to worry about that. Just show up. Okay. So this academy was designed to give entrepreneurs the accountability that you need to stay on track, take action, and actually see results. If you've been sleeping on social media and you've been telling yourself you don't need it, word of mouth is going to get me there. That's not going to get you there. You need to be out where the people are, and they are on social media, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, any of the others. That's where people are. That's where your revenue dollars are. That's where your ideal customers are. They are on social media. And so you need to be out there as well. So again, join the Brand and Social Marketing Academy, MelanieHunter.com/academy. There is actually a discount code on the page as well to give you something off of your first month. There is a trial that is available. I think might be 5-day trial. So you can come in and learn and see what it's going to be like on the road ahead. Again, we don't come in and overwhelm you with all kinds of stuff. We're not going to be doing that. Literally, it's going to be co-working sessions, strategy sessions with me, opportunities for you to get feedback on your designs, feedback on the way you're scheduling things, feedback on the performance of what you are putting on social media, so that you can know how to improve the following month. So again, join at MelanieHunter.com/academy, and we are looking forward to having you in our next incoming class. Let's make sure your brand does not just exist in 2025. It's limping along on life support, but let's make sure that your brand is thriving out here in these social media streets. I forgot to mention the title, Who Gonna Check Me? Talking about who's going to say something to me, who's going to stop me, who's going to make me do something different. Well, as a smart and savvy entrepreneur, you know that accountability is key. You need somebody else checking you. You need somebody else holding your foot to the fire to make sure you do the things that are so important in your business. And that's what you'll get in the academy. So I look forward to seeing you there. And I now see that my mic is still unmuted. So I think we should be good this time. Thank you for joining us a second time. If you were here the first time, and sorry that you could not hear us. Until next time, I'll either see you in the academy or I will see you at our next episode.